Hey, what's up, everyone? This here is Ruben with Kindred Dog PDX, and this is another dog trainer troubleshooting. So I'm going to get out of the way so you can read this contact form, and then we're going to get into how I would go about problem solving this. So here we go. All right. So we got a dog here who gets tunnel vision when she sees a squirrel. We got some leash reactivity and some fence fighting going on. Got into a fight at a dog park. When we were playing ball, she ran up to a dog, so ignored the recall, got into a little scuffle, knows some basic commands, but only knows them at home and when not distracted. Isn't crate trained and barks constantly at any noise. All right, so we're just going to start at the top. So when it comes to squirrels, tunnel vision, right? I mean, this is something that we talk about all the time, which is we want to slow things down for our dogs. So let's say you're on a walk, okay? Your dog is walking fine, but then they see the squirrel. Ears go forward, forehead wrinkles. That's where you want to stop. You want to stop right there, and then you want to say your dog's name. And this is also going to go back to your dog understanding some markers, okay? Because that's a perfect recall moment. Once your dog gets fixated like that, you stop and then you go, Fluffy, here. They turn into you. Use your leash if you need to. You use your leash. They turn into you. You go, yes. And then you create some space. You move backwards and you have your dog chase the food that you're about to give them, okay? And you do that every single time. Every time you turn back around to head in that same direction, your dog fixates. You pause. Fido, here. Yes. Boom. Fluffy, not Fido. But you want to just teach your dog that there's no benefit to chasing the squirrel. The more you move forward when your dog is in that fixated state of mind, the more likely they're going to get into trying to rush towards the squirrel, bark at the squirrel, lunge towards the squirrel, because they're slowly closing the distance to the squirrel. So we want to be a tree and pause and work them off of that. This isn't so much a correction sort of moment. This is a teach you how to see squirrels and not move towards squirrels, actually learn how to move away from squirrels. Okay. But that's also going to require your dog has a basic understanding of leash pressure and markers and a hear command of sorts as well. Okay. You got to build up the skill before you start working on the squirrels. Okay. So if your dog doesn't know that stuff, you're going to need to spend some time developing those markers up and developing that understanding of how to follow the leash. If I have the leash on and I go to the right, the dog knows to turn to the right. If I go to the left, the dog knows to turn to the left. Okay. This is going to be sort of the same thing with the leash reactivity, right? Like lunging, barking, growling, all of that stuff is a symptom of an overaroused dog. Okay. The dog is probably way too excited before they even leave the house. All right. This is definitely something that we see all the time. I mean, every single reactive dog is super excited when they're heading out on the walk. The leash comes out, they're excited, they open the door, they're rushing out the door, they're pulling down the street. So you need to first develop a nice walk around no distractions. So that means walking your dog inside the house, walking your dog in and out of the house, right? Out the front door, back in the house, right? You need to develop a better walk overall. This is going to help calm your dog's mind down. This is going to help put them in a better position. Dogs who are in front are leading the walk. Okay, this isn't about like dominance and whatnot. It's just like if you're following your dog, you're following the dog. You are the follower. Okay. We like our dogs to be at our side or behind them. The reason for being at our side is really helpful is because they can only focus on us, right? If they're out in front, they're able to scan and all of the stuff. But if they're at our side or even behind us, they're going to be paying more attention to us, which means they're not going to be paying attention to the other dogs. Now, this isn't the be all end all, but when it comes to reactivity, we need to stack things in our favor to help with the reactivity. And getting your walk solid first before getting to these distractions is going to be one of the bigger parts of that equation. Okay. The other side of it too is I would be definitely getting this dog practicing place work and learning how to chill inside the house. This goes into with the barking at any noise and whatnot. Dogs who are just overstimulated, tend to act this way. You know, it's just like they've got too much energy, their mind is racing all the time because they don't know how to relax. So definitely lots of place work and crate time is going to be very beneficial for this dog. She got into a dog fight at the dog park when a dog was trying to hurt her. That's why dog parks suck. Um, Playing ball, she ran up to a dog who was on a leash. She ignored the recall. Small scuffle happened. So, you know, if you're going to do stuff like this at a park with your dog, they should be on a long line. Okay. That's going to be your plan B for when your plan A doesn't work out. When you say, Fido, come, and they don't come, we need that leash to help us out. Okay. Um, Distractions are going to make your dog deaf, right? Like not literally deaf, but when they get fixated on something, they tune us out. All right. And we need some tactile pressure to help. Hey, over here. Yes, good job. Okay. This would fall into also getting your dog probably off leash e-collar trained as well, because that's an invisible long line. So instead of having a 15-foot leash or 20-footer or 50-footer or 100-footer, you could have a half-mile invisible leash on your dog that gives you the plan B for when plan A goes south. Okay. But also the good news is with training, you can get your dog even more reliable without the leash on them. Okay. Knows basic commands, but only reliable when at home and not distracted. So, you know, this just means we got to train more outside, you know. Take your dog's food, train outside now. Train at the park, train at the school parking lot, the hardware store parking lot. We gotta develop the habit of listening to you outside of the house and around those distractions. Not crate trained. Crate train your dog. That's a must. It's not just for destruction, it's for state of mind, helping your dog learn how to be calm, influence or nurture a calm state of mind. It's for safety, it's for maintenance, it's for when you don't feel like training. You know, if your dog is not in a crate and they're always out, they're effectively always in training. Whether you're training them or they're training themselves, they are learning stuff. And is it good? Is it bad? Is it helpful for our lifestyle? So crate training is a must for every single dog. That's it. And barks constantly at any noise. So, you know, oftentimes that can also just be a symptom of a dog who's allowed to make choices. You know, if the dog is roaming around the house, they're going to react to things that just show up. It's just the nature of the dog. So, you know, we encourage things like place command, crate training, you know, because it gives your dog a job to do. Oftentimes, when you put your dog on place, I've seen this hundreds of times. Been at this for 10 years. We've seen this a lot. You put a dog on place, all of a sudden, the barking stops. You know, in our facility, we live right next to barking dogs behind us. You know, there are neighbors, cars coming out of driveways, and dogs who would bark at anything don't. And it's not because we're correcting the hell out of them or anything like that. It's because we're teaching them what we want them to be doing. It's, hey, you can just go lay down now and you don't have to worry about those noises. And they're like, oh, thanks, guy. I love that. I don't want to worry about that noise. It's too much for me to handle. Okay. So, overall, we want to think about training, overall obedience, crate training, place training. I mean, e-collar training, I think, is a benefit for every single dog. So, I would definitely encourage that. Even if your dog is great, you know, they're not, I mean, yeah, I don't like bad dog and stuff. It's just dogs being dogs. But some dogs, yeah, they might benefit more from it. But I think every single dog does because we want to give our dogs off leash freedom. And let's do that without a leash. You know, you always start with the leash though. So yeah, that's how I would approach that. So if this video was helpful for you, I would pause it, you know, again, take notes. We were going to repeat probably a lot of things as we keep going through these contact forms. But yeah, let me know if you have any questions. All right, we'll talk to y'all later. Bye.